What's good, YouTube? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Elite Nurse Lifestyle, where we discuss all things fashion, most importantly, fragrances. Guys, today we are doing one of my favorite videos to do. It is a haul. Okay, it's a wish list haul, y'all. I know people in the fragrance community, we all have a list of fragrances that we are just dying to have, right? So these are some of the fragrances that I've had on my list, and I finally took the plunge on getting these fragrances. So one of the fragrances, guys, I was trying to hold out for it to get here, but it clearly didn't get here in time. And so I didn't want to hold up the video. I'll probably do a separate video for that one. It's Musk Therapy from the House of Initio, and I am just like, because I got another Initio fragrance, my first Initio fragrance, which I've always wanted to get, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the Musk Therapy, guys, I'm telling you, it's like ball de freak for the wintertime, okay? But we'll talk about that. I may do a single video about that one. But let's get into the video. So guys, the first fragrance that, I feel like if you watch my channel, you should know that this was coming, right? This is from the House of Fragrance du Bois, and it's Siberian Rose. This is I'm not going to do the whole presentation because I did that when I got my Oud Rose Intense. I'll spare you the repetitiveness of that, right? So this is Siberian Rose. It's the 100 ml bottle. And guys, it is just absolutely stunning. You guys know it has leather in there, and I'm a fan of leather, suede, you know. I speak about effing fabulous all the time. That was my first Tom Ford fragrance. And this one, when I got the Oud Rose Intense, they sent me a sample of this, and I was just like, bet. I'm like, that is a must, okay? Because it's just perfect for this time of year. The scent is just amazing. I feel like if you don't like leather like that, this one definitely, I think most people would be able to pull off. It's not as polarizing as, say, effing fabulous. And so this one, it has some woodsy notes, it has some tuberose, it has rose, also some amber. Absolutely stunning fragrance. It's long lasting. This is you know, I wore it a couple days ago. It lasts me about 8 hours, and I'm telling you, to where it wasn't even like a skin scent for that length of time. It lasted about 8 hours, and then you know, after that it was a little bit softer, but absolutely beautiful. The notes in this fragrance, the top notes are juniper, pear, pink pepper, and cinnamon. You guys know I like a cinnamon note. In the mid notes are tuberose, rose, leather, ylang ylang, and then the base, there's moss, patchouli, and amber. And so guys, I feel like the leather in this fragrance, it gives it that depth, that something special, you know what I mean? So if you can get a sample of this, let me know what you think, because I am just so obsessed with it. Like I said, I've already started wearing it, and it's one of my favorites from the house, of course, with Oud Rose Intense. And so guys, first one, Siberian Rose. The next fragrance that I have and purchased from my wish list was from the House of Amouage, and it's none other than Portrayal. And guys, the bottle on this fragrance is just absolutely stunning. Let's see. Look at that. How beautiful is that? But so this fragrance, guys, I've always wanted to have like a jasmine heavy fragrance. This is a white floral, mostly jasmine and tobacco. If you do not like jasmine, you will not like this fragrance. I love the scent of jasmine. It's very much a white floral fragrance. It doesn't have, for Amouage, this is quite different from usually, you know, most of their fragrances. They are filled with tons of notes in their fragrances, but this one, from what's listed, it's quite simple. It has, like I mentioned, jasmine in the top note, then the middle there's tobacco, vanilla, and the base is LMI. And so I think it's just absolutely stunning. You know, of course, the bottle was a definite sell for me as well. I just think these bottles are so beautiful. Magnetic closure and beautiful jasmine scent. I did wear this once before, and it has great longevity. I'd say I got about 7 hours from this fragrance, and projection is great, sillage is great. Typical Amouage. If you are not a fan of the Amouage fragrances, this, you know, this leans a little bit more vintage. As you know, white floral fragrances can come off a little bit vintage. So if you're not a fan of that kind of fragrance, then you may not like this fragrance. So definitely get a sample. I would not say for you to blind buy this fragrance, okay? But for me, it's everything. It's everything in a jasmine fragrance that I would want. And of course, it has a little hint of that tobacco. It doesn't pull tobacco on my skin a lot. Like I said, I have to be very careful about getting tobacco in fragrances because sometimes it tends to go a little sour on my skin. And like Back to Black, I love that fragrance, but the tobacco pulls so sour on my skin, I cannot wear that fragrance. But this one is just absolutely beautiful. Portrayal from the House of Amouage. The next fragrance that I got from my wish list was from the House of Xerjoff, and it is from the Casamarati line. And I know most people, this is one of most people's favorite from that line, and it is none other than Dama Bianca. So Dama Bianca, guys, this is a floral fragrance, and it's a little fruity, it's a little powdery, just a really nice soft fragrance. And I just thought that it was absolutely a beautiful, just elegant fragrance when I had a sample of it. And I just decided that, you know, this full bottle would definitely be something that I want to have for like the spring and summertime. I think it's a little bit too light for now. Not that you couldn't, but especially if it's really cold temperatures, I feel like it would just be washed out. And so some of the notes in this, I know it has kumquat because I have another one, Dulce Amalfi, I believe has kumquat as well. And so in the top notes, there's kumquat, there's lime. Mid notes is Italian iris, there's violet, Egyptian jasmine, lilac, lily of the valley. Very floral heavy, guys, so you definitely have to like florals. There is vanilla in the base, malt, umbrette or musk mallow, white musk, sandalwood, and cedar, all in the base. But absolutely beautiful, very soft. You get that fruity note in the top, and then the florals kick in. Absolutely beautiful fragrance. I cannot wait for spring and summer so I can just obsess over this one. But guys, of course, I do love the bottles. I have the plastic on still. From this line, I think they're so just girly. I think they're so cute. but that is Dama Bianca from Zerja. The next fragrance in this haul is from the house of Tom Ford, who is fastly becoming very huge in my collection. And it is none other than Jasmine Rouge, guys. This, clearly I have a thing for jasmine, right? So this is another jasmine fragrance, and this is just, it's sweet, definitely white floral. It also has some yellow florals as well, a little woodsy. I have to say that for me, this is one of the longest performing fragrances from the House of Tom Ford that I have. It's about a good 6 hours. Perfect for this time of year. And so some of the notes in this fragrance, there is cinnamon, guys. I don't know, maybe that's why I love it so much, man. It's cinnamon, there's some ginger, there's bergamot, cardamom, pepper, mandarin orange, and in the mid there's jasmine, ylang ylang, neroli, something called broom, and clary sage. Then in the base there's amber, some woodsy notes, vanilla, leather, and some French labdanum. But guys, I just absolutely love this. I think this is one of the best smelling jasmine fragrances I own. Period. Okay? If you're looking for a good jasmine fragrance, if you like jasmine, this is one of the best ones that I own and that I have smelt to date. So this is none other than Jasmine Rouge from the House of Tom Ford. So guys, the next fragrance on my list is one that I don't want to say I saved the best for last. These are the last two fragrances I have, but this one, I have been stalking this fragrance forever. I've had so many samples until I couldn't sample anymore, and I'm just like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just do it. And I am so happy to say that this is my first Initio fragrance. Guys, y'all know I've been going back and forth with like, should I get Atomic Rose or should I get, you know, Side Effect? I love them both, but I just had to do this one first, guys. You know I am a sucker for boozy notes, okay? If y'all haven't seen my boozy fragrances, go check that out. I will link it in the description. But this was on my boozy fragrances, top tier boozy fragrances. And guys, Side Effect, ooh, so this is one that I would classify as a masterpiece, right? Because it gives me, like I mentioned, guys, the fragrances that gives me that visceral reaction, that's how I know it's a masterpiece in my opinion, and that's how I know it's a fragrance that I'm gonna either always be purchasing, right? But look at this bottle. Isn't this, oh, it's the color for me. And of course, the packaging, it's just so, you can just see the quality, the weight in the fragrance. It's just, I just love this house. Honestly, there isn't a fragrance from this house that I own, except for like the animalic ones, you know. But when it comes to the carnal blends, I feel like this line is just absolutely beautiful. And like I mentioned, I did get the musk therapy. It hasn't arrived as yet, but baby, I feel like if you like Byredo's Baldafreak musk therapy, you will just absolutely obsess over musk therapy. When I smell it, I was like, this is a must. To the point where I was telling myself after I got this one, I would got Atomic Rose, but when I smelled the musk therapy, I was like, that's it right there. That is it right there. And so guys, but this one, it's sweet, it's boozy, it's whoo, I get, it's vanilla, it's got some rum, it's got tobacco. Guys, I like tobacco in my fragrances, but you know, like I said, it definitely has to be done right. I have worn this, you know, I told you I've had samples And so I've worn this already, but it has rum, there's vanilla, there's tobacco, and there's cinnamon. Some of my favorite notes is in this fragrance, so I just could not get this. But once I get my musk therapy, then I'll get my Atomic Rose. And I like Rehab as well, but it just doesn't, it's for me, it's just a nice fragrance. It doesn't give me that, you know. And like I said, guys, when it comes to me now purchasing my fragrances, I'm looking for baddies and masterpiece. I've said this in my previous videos. I'm very selective about what I get. You know, like the other fragrances, the Jasmine Rouge and Portrayal, I just really wanted a good jasmine fragrance in my collection. And so that's why I got those. But I'm very selective about what I get because, like I mentioned, I don't want to go over 150. I live in Hotlanta, okay? Most of my fragrances are heavy hitters. What am I going to do? Have these fragrances sitting there and go bad? No, we are not about to do that with $300 bottles of fragrances, okay? So I have to be strategic about how I go about these fragrances. And plus, when you spend in your coins to get these bad boys, you want to be able to wear them and enjoy them and not just have them sitting there, you know, going bad. So, you know, I'm very strategic about how I go about getting my fragrances. And so 150, and I'm getting baddies and masterpiece. And I just, you know, I'm enjoying every single bit of my fragrances. I'm so happy to have this. But yes, so guys, House of Initio, Side Effect. And so last but certainly not least is from the House of Dior, guys. And if you follow me on Instagram at Empress Milani, you would have known that I purchased this little guy right here. And one thing I love about Dior, I've said this on my Instagram before, they give you an experience, okay? It's the packaging for me, okay? It comes with, they give you this dust bag. They give you the dust bag here, and then it's like that. And you have the fragrance sitting like that. And of course, they give you samples. Such a smart marketing idea, guys, because a lot of the samples that I got with my previous orders, I now have, of course, I have Fève, I have Gris Dior, I have Ombre Nuit, and this is the most recent acquisition to the House of Dior, Vanilla Diorama. And they gave me samples. I think I gave my daughter the Miss Dior because I already have that. And they sent J'adore. I have a big bottle of J'adore. This was a long time fave of mine. And they sent me Sauvage. I'm giving this to my son. And so, Vanilla Diorama. Let's talk about it, right? This is one of the newer releases from the house, and I love the packaging. It's so simple, clean, and it has the magnetic top. And so this fragrance, right? Honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Ombre Nuit, right? It's it's warm, it's spicy, a little woodsy. It's a little sweet, not cloying at all. Similar to Ombre Nuit in my opinion. Let's see, some of the notes in this fragrance. In the top, there is orange, pink pepper, and lemon. So it starts out very aromatic. There in the mid, there's rum, cacao, and cardamom. And in the base note, there is bourbon, vanilla, sandalwood, and patchouli. So guys, this is, this scent is just perfect for this time. Oh, you get that. When you first spray it, so you get the orange in the top note. It's very aromatic. You get the orange, you get the lemon. Of course, It's a little bit powdery, as I find most of the fragrances from this house are. Um, you definitely get that boozy quality of the rum. Also, you smell the vanilla. So these are the notes that are most prominent for me. I get the orange and the lemon in the top, and then there's like a mixture with the vanilla. So it's a little sweet, but not cloying. And then the woodsy notes, it gives it a perfect balance. The sillage, I would say, is moderate to really strong sillage and projection. I'd give it about maybe a 7, right? And the longevity definitely lasted 7 hours, 6, 7 hours on my skin. I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's one of those baddies. I'm adding it to the baddie collection, okay? And I just love this house. There's quite a bit of fragrances from this house that I am absolutely in love with. But guys, I would say definitely get a sample of this before you do go ahead and make the plunge, because I can see, you know, it can be a little bit polarizing. And I'm thinking that because of the orange note as well as the lemon, I think some people may not really like that combo, but I absolutely love it. It's going in the baddies collection. And so vanilla diorama from the house of Dior, Christian Dior. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned.